Howdy, y'all. All right. It's good to be back here. Celebration Circle. Last weekend, the rodeo. How many of y'all been to the rodeo this year? Me either. Yeah. I was a little surprised to be asked back to the Celebration Circle after last year. They said, they want a little more of that cowboy spirituality, which I learned in the School of Hard Knocks. So, here we are. I do want to acknowledge that the Celebration Circle did get some communication from some folks who were concerned that they were having a rodeo wrangler come into the circle because they wanted to make sure that we knew that rodeo represents for many people excessive cruelty to animals, and that we shouldn't, as a celebration circle, shouldn't be endorsing that sort of activity. And I want to make clear that I'm not here endorsing the rodeo. I haven't been here myself to the rodeo in a number of years, because I can't stand to see all that violence that I used to live through. But I'm here to share just on my past experience, what I've learned riding bulls. Like my friend Don Mathis pointed out, I'm full of bull, and I've known a bunch of bull. As a bull rider, I know that it's important to be in touch with the bull. In those few seconds that you got in the chute, before you take off, and you're tying into the rigging, you got to make sure that you got a good glove and it's on tight. And it should have a lot of rosin on it, so you can really hang on to that rope, because you only got that one hand to hang on with. The rules say you can only touch the bull with the one hand holding the rope. The other hand may never touch the bull at any time, in any way. It's got to be extended out. And so it just looks like you're going to be holding on to the bull with one hand, but in fact, you got to be letting go while you hold on. Because if you try to just hold on and try to tell that bull where to go, 1,500 pounds of bucket animal who's got only one thing in his mind, which is to get you off his back, you don't have enough strength in the arm to just hold on. You have to also let go and go in the direction the animal is going. You try to fight it, guess who wins? So, as part of that process, I also have to learn to sink into your legs. You know, you can't really wrap your legs around the bull. The bull's a lot bigger than that. I mean, we're bow-legged, us cowboys are, but you still can't wrap your legs around the bull, and yet you got to settle your weight down into the bull. Be one with the bull. Starting from the time you're in the chute, you have to really be present with that animal. You really got to be there with it. Because if you're thinking about anything else for even just a split second, you're flowing off. You're flying off. And the rules of the contest are you got to hang on for 8 seconds. And to be at any chance of winning any prize money, you got to stay on for the 8 seconds. 7.9 does not count. And so those 8 seconds become a really long time, because it turns out that most humans can't really focus for 8 seconds on one thing at one time. But you learn. As a bull rider, you learn to focus for 8 seconds. Or you learn the consequences when you don't. And that's why if at any point I find my mind drifting off to other things, like thinking how my hat looks, or wondering about if I'm going to win prize money this time around, I'm almost certain to lose. I got to stay really focused on the animal, not the moment. The other thing is, as a trade secret I learned a long time ago, it's helpful to hold your hat out. It's not just about protecting the hat. This is just my working hat. It's not my fancy hat, but it's still, you want to protect the hat, but more than that, you use it as kind of a balance out there. It helps you. It's just a little extra counterweight and a little extra something to help you stay in line with the bull that's going that way. And finally, the thing you got to remember at all times if you're going to be successful in bull riding is you're not you got those clowns out there to help you. And that's important, because when you get bucked off, you need their help. And you need to pay attention to where they are, and where the bull is, and where you are, and just really stay available to that help that was out there to begin with. And what I know is that riding the bull is a lot like trying to be the father of a teenage boy. Or trying to get along with your coworkers at work when one of them is being a real grouch. Or dealing with a health challenge. You might have heard from your doctor that you got something bad. And any one of those situations can be a lot like trying to ride a bucking bull, which can throw you and beat you to smithereens if you let it. You can let that doctor's report, you can let that co-worker, you can let your relationship with a teenager get you, or you can just ride it like a good bull, knowing that you've got no control over the bull. You got no control over the medical situation. You got no control over your teenager. You got no control over your co-worker. All you got is the ability to hang on and stay focused. And let go. And go in the direction of the bull. The problem is go. Now, you might say, well, you don't understand. My problem's different. I got a partner who's just a real jerk. Or, I got a coworker who just will not leave me alone. Or, well, we all got problems. But I've come to see from my old cowboy ways that if you just treat any problem like a bucking bronco and stop trying to control it, and just hang on as best you can. Stay balanced as best you can. And then let go. And just go along for the ride, knowing that you're not alone. You're never alone. You have helpers everywhere. They may look like clowns. But when the going gets tough, you've got helpers everywhere you go who can and will help you if you just open up to them. Stay aware of how they're trying to help you, where the bull is in the process. And finally, I don't know, this part's hard to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I've learned that I gotta remember to ask for help from something bigger than myself. I happen to call it God. Well, Mama used to call him Jesus. I never understood that Jesus thing. Jesus, I couldn't come over a relationship with Jesus. And then for many years I left the church and I went out on the rodeo trying to prove who I was in the world and trying to make it as a young man, just on brawn, well, not brain, just guts, stupidity, mostly. But the first time I got hurt bad, and it didn't take long, the first time I got hurt bad, I had to have knee surgery that looked like my career was over. I learned to pray. And I learned that it didn't matter who it was that I prayed to, as long as I just gave up my little self and asked for something from somewhere or somebody to help me get out of my little self. And that prayer, that willingness to get out of my own self and ask for, and then receive help. Even though I don't know what it is, even though I can't figure out how it works, even though I don't know exactly how it works. I know that for me, it makes all the difference as I get on top of that bull. To just surrender, not just to the bull and relax in the saddle, yeah, that's one thing, but somehow say, hey, there's something else going on here. I don't know what it is, but I'm asking for help, and I just want to survive, and I want to ride, and I want to quit myself on the plane. Sometimes especially when I get hurt, when the bull gets the better of me, I get tossed off and I wind up in the hospital, find myself thinking, okay, this is the end. I don't know how to do this anymore. This pain is too much. That particularly is the time when it helps to let go of my little self, my little pain, and just open up. most important part of the ride. Take a moment to feel gratitude. You're here.